Hi everybody. Today I'm going to be chatting with Amelia Bilbeisi of Maida, single family estate producers of high quality extra virgin olive oil. They make their olive oil right in the middle of the Jordanian desert. They have won 6 international awards for high quality, delicious olive oil. Hi Amelia, it's so nice to have you here on My Olive Roots.
Thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure.
Um, I'm really excited to meet with you today because of this family business, this beautiful extra virgin olive oil that is being produced in the middle of the Jordanian desert. Can you tell me why you got into this business to begin with?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be featured and invited onto this wonderful platform. Um, I moved to Jordan about 3 years ago. I was born and grew up in the UK. My mother is English, my father is Jordanian. And my parents moved here about 25 years ago. And it started my father on this journey of discovering what extra virgin olive oil was. And he wanted to see how we could use this beautiful natural resource that we have in this region and produce the best quality extra virgin olive oil possible. So when I moved here about 3 years ago, I joined him and got sucked into the beauty of extra virgin olive oil.
Lovely. And so, what is the olive oil market in the region like compared to Europe and other producing countries?
Unfortunately, it's not as strong. I mean, you have global leaders like Spain and Italy and Greece, and you have emerging markets like America and Australia and Chile and Brazil who are really starting to produce great quality extra virgin olive oils. Unfortunately, the market in the region isn't as strong, and I think that's mainly down to quality. Um, there isn't a huge export market here, and the knowledge about really what makes a truly great extra virgin olive oil isn't common here. So part of our mission is really to educate our clients and people we come into contact with here in the region.
And so, what makes a really good olive oil?
Oh, everything. It's from inception to pressing. So how you treat the tree, how you take care of the olives, any damage that's done to that tree, any excess stress on the tree, let's say, causes a breakdown in the structure of the olive. So that affects the taste. And of course, how you press it and what you do with it to preserve the natural qualities. So everything, really.
Wow, it's a real science, isn't it? And I never really appreciated that until we spoke about it earlier. So, how many kinds of olives do you grow? And
Uh, we have six. We have six cultivars. One is a new one for us that we planted this summer called Oleana. We have two local varieties, and we have a Greek variety, which is very high in polyphenols. And the other two Spanish varieties, Arbequina and Arbesana, are actually originally from this region. So they were sort of taken and exported to Spain, where they flourished and become very strong cultivars within Europe. But we've sort of brought them back to their original home. And of course, because we grow in a different terroir, our Arbequina and our Arbesana taste a lot different to the Arbequina and Arbesana of Spain.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's better, but that's down to personal preference. But they really do thrive in the Jordanian desert here.
So, Amelia, how is it sustainable?
Well, when the farm was set up, we looked at global best practices and we really had two goals in mind. How do you balance a very fragile environment? I mean, living in the Middle East, water is a huge concern. How do you do the best for your local environment, but strive for the best quality? And fortunately, we were able to link those two things. So we use systems in our milling and in our growing where we use the smallest possible amount of water we can, certainly in irrigation, and we're always looking at ways to improve that. We use science to the best of our abilities. We have weather systems, so we know how much tree or water has received, and we know how much it's evaporated. So we adjust that so we're not overwatering to the defect of quality, and also we don't produce any wastewater, which is a huge environmental problem within this region.
Yes.
So those two things, we're able to keep the quality at the possible highest standard. So, I mean, it's just so important to keep that in mind, especially when you're growing in the middle of the desert. And because we have 180,000 trees in the desert, we're also like this mini ecosystem. So we get all these birds that now come to the desert. We have 5 lakes filled with fish, and we use the fertilizer of those fish to put back into the environment. And we have about 1,500 solar panels. So we use sun energy as well. So we're trying all the time, and as technology changes, we implement as we can.
Amazing. And it's really important for the consumer to know and be conscious of that. So, so how long does it take to produce olive oil? Like what's the process? What goes into it?
I mean, the season of pressing is from November, and we're predicting that we will be running all the way up to the second week in January. Because we have different cultivars, they've all been planted at different times, so they all move differently. So we don't suffer from the problem of one farm which all matures at the same time. So we stagger our production and our pressing, so everything that's picked and pressed, which is done within hours, is fresh and the best it can be. But really, it takes 12 months because you have to look after the tree. There are stages throughout the year that you really have to look after the tree, and you're investing in that season of when you're pressing.
Yeah, interesting. Wow. So you were just talking about some of your clients. Who are your biggest clients?
I think the biggest and the smallest have something in common, which are they're all foodies. So it's people who are really seeking the best quality ingredients they can use. I mean, we're very lucky that we have in this region a wonderful history of absolutely fantastic food, from Palestine, Lebanon to North Africa. And most families are very proud of the dishes that they cook. So I think people are beginning to recognize that if you're going through all of that, you don't want to ruin it with a bad oil. You want the oil to complement what you're cooking. And there are certain oils that have different flavor profiles. So that just adds to the experience of the food. Wow. So I think from the point there's a bottle from us to restaurants and chefs that order for their whole year, they have this common theme that they just love food and they love quality.
Good quality olive oil, really amazing. And so do you think, given the cultural history of the olive tree and olive oil, where does the Middle East and North Africa stand in terms of quality?
I think it's improving. If you look at a case study like Tunisia, Tunisia is a huge producer and a huge exporter of extra virgin olive oil. And for years, their quality wasn't very good. And it's taken a few producers to sort of enter the international arena and really bring that world ranking up. And I think in the future, they'll be alongside Spain. I think we have the opportunity in the MENA region, more locally, to really lead. We should be leading the world. We have some of the oldest trees in the world, and the connection between the culture and history and religion is really tied in with olive oil and the olive tree. So I think we need, as a region, to improve the quality collectively and really be a dominant force on the world market. But at the moment, there.
Which is so bizarre because I love the region's olive oil, and I think I can't live without it. I don't enjoy anything else, especially my Palestinian olive oil. um, but I really, really love the region's olive oil, and nothing can compare. So I wonder why that's been a struggle for us, why we haven't been able to kind of master that.
I think there definitely is this nostalgia with our history with olive oil, and I think it's not just in this region, because there have been studies done globally where people are so used to rancid olive oil that they associate that rancidity with quality when it's not. So it's when you educate people and you know what an extra virgin olive oil should taste like, that you're really the consumer demanding the quality.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think they know what a great extra virgin olive oil is, which is not necessarily what one is. So it's kind of breaking down that barrier, which is not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big, it's basically educating and understand and appreciating, maybe because we use it so much on a daily basis, we don't really think about or appreciate what, the method or the science behind of what makes it taste
No,
good.
absolutely. We've undervalued it as
Undervalued it.
Product, and we view it merely in quantity rather than quality. And now the world is sort of waking up to the benefits of extra virgin olive oil, and they view it in that light as something that is a miraculous ingredient, really.
So I really would love to get my hands on it. Where can I find this oil here in the UAE?
At the moment, we do a lot of direct marketing. So if you go to us on Instagram, you can send us a message. We can send it to you.
Okay.
Local office number in Jordan, and we can definitely send it to you. We have partnered with one of the hotels in Dubai, Andaz, which is located on the Palm. We did a custom blend for them, working with their chefs and their managers. So that was really a specific blend for them, and they sell it also in their outlet.
Lovely.
But of course, hopefully we get better and better. So
yeah, well, we need more of it. What plans do you have for the future? What do you hope will happen with Maida?
I mean, in the last 2 years, we've won 6 international awards for our oil. I think the plan going forward is to enter more competitions and more prestigious competitions. And each time you enter a competition and you win, you're bringing the world ranking up for your country. So really, to target certain competitions and, fingers crossed, win in those arenas, getting our name out there and say, listen, we have a great product from a great region with a long history, and just really do that. I mean, our vision and our mission is always about quality. So we're constantly tasting our oils. We're constantly tasting other oils in the market and abroad. And we set very high organoleptic goals for ourselves, and we know what we want from each of our oils. So hopefully working towards that each year and getting better and better.
Well, I look forward to seeing how it's going to expand and grow. And I think if there's more olive producers like yourself, of being really kind of top level olive oil makers, and make a name for ourselves. And I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing. But thank you so much for joining us today. And we look forward to following you and tasting some of that delicious olive oil.
Hopefully we'll be more widespread in the UAE soon.
I hope so. I hope so. We're waiting for you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you, Tanya.